I
Nice.
got on my Stu merch. The
I like it.
premium
Thank
account
you.
is. Oh wow! I can't go live on the Facebooks. I got to have a premium account now. Hmm. Interesting. Well, screw you, Elon. You're not getting my money. Uh, I guess we're. Uh, let's see. Click here to reconnect your destination. Let's see if it'll reconnect it. It gave me the green thing. Let's go live. Why does stuff have to be complicated, Stu? I
I
don't
don't know. We
understand.
try to get find people the easy button to do all this stuff, and then it never fails. There's always a curveball you got to learn halfway through the process that you've comfortably learned over the last several months.
They changed the rules in the
They
middle of the
change the
game.
rules, and
Yeah.
you gotta get smarter on it. So
I,
it keeps you on your toes, Jim. That's the way I look at it.
it's all in the name of privacy too. Like they'll sell my data. Like everybody on the dark web, you can find out my birth date, my social security number, my blood type, my preferences for adult entertainment. Whatever it might be, and yet they inconvenience me in the name of privacy. It makes no sense.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I
That's a
mean,
good point.
none of it makes any sense. It's all just baloney, Stu. But that's not what we're here to talk about today.
Nope.
But you know what, Stu? In a way, it's unethical. In a way, it's unethical. Speaking of
I would
ethics,
agree.
speaking of ethics, Stu, how ethical do you think it is to write a book using AI? Honest to God. I mean, now all the stuff aside, I mean, I
Well,
AI copying content makes money every month that gets sent to your bank account, but I need you to be ethically straightforward
I
with
will
me.
tell you this. 2 years ago, if you would have asked me this question, I would have said, yeah, that's not right.
Okay.
But now, after seeing what AI can do and what AI doesn't do,
Right.
I completely agree it is ethical.
Okay. What has changed in your perception?
Well, I would say this. I mean, everything I put out that I use a genie for that
Hmm.
has AI created information,
Hmm.
um, I have to edit to a point where it is me speaking
Hmm.
because I can tell that is not something I would say. Right? It is not something I would write. I would not use those words. I change things around. I
Right.
add in a story. I give a, for instance, um, example, and it just expands what AI has done. I would say at best, AI helps you create a draft and a format for whatever you're trying to create.
Okay.
And then you have to finish that creation by putting your soleil into it.
Did you like? Okay, we put the E in soul. We'll talk about that in just a second. So, what I would say, based on what you're saying, and I know that we're in 100% agreement, and we did not rehearse this. And in case y'all have not figured out, when we do the CopyandContent.AI report, it's the same thing as when Stu. Every once in a while, we get together and in person, and it's the same thing. Hey, man, what's up?
Hey,
You
what
know,
are we going to do? Yeah.
that's right.
Uh,
So ethics of doing it. And if you have a couple of options, okay, which I've seen a lot of stuff out there, AI will write your book. I mean, I know of a particular service I've shown that's really expensive. I
mm,
mean, thousands of dollars just to join it, and then every time they write a book for you, it's like $1,000. It's really expensive. And the gist of it is all it is they have somebody turning the crank to make listicles out of listicles out of listicles, and they generate hundreds of pages of stuff that when you really read it, it's all duplicate, and they're basically just doing list stuff.
Mm.
And in my opinion, if you basically just whatever tool you're using, if you just take it straight from the AI, throw it in, and say, "Look at my book, Mom. Look what I did." That's it. I'm not sure whether it's ethical or not, but I know it's just dumb because it's not really any good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would call it dumb, not unethical.
Okay.
it's
All right.
just, it's
Yeah.
just, it's just like, why would you submit something like that?
Why would you even think that was kind of cool? It's
Yeah.
like it doesn't sound like you. It's just the mid-wit AI content that is just, you put in 2 words, whacked a button on ChatGPT or whatever, it spit out 700,
200.
800 words,
Yeah.
200 words. Yeah. Did you just say shit?
No, I
Oh,
said
okay.
200. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because you don't cuss. You never cuss.
Every now and then I do.
Yeah, it's memorable.
Yes.
My point is that this ain't cool, ethical or just dumb.
Yeah.
And that would be fun. Ethical versus dumb. Unethical versus dumb. The bottom line is, if it's got you in it, then it's got you in it. And we're going to talk about what is you. But what is you is soul, sole. Okay, we put the E in soul. Stories. Okay, that's to me, that's the number one thing. That's the number one thing when they're teaching you how to speak, when they're teaching you how to interact, how to sell, everything. Biggest thing they tell you to do: share stories, share personal stories, share examples, share customer stories, share stories about the product, share stories, because stories make it real. They make it relatable. They make it real, relatable, and relevant. Ha ha, take that. I don't need ChatGPT to do alliteration, Stu. Real, relatable, and relevant. Okay,
Right.
next, opinions. See, because if AI has the collective consciousness, like if I were to ask you, Stu, what's a push-up workout? Okay, plus or minus, a push-up workout is a push-up workout. You're either greasing the groove, or you're doing a pyramid, or there's only so many finite ways of doing it. Okay.
Sure.
And so if I went and asked AI right now to create a push-up workout, it could create several different push-up workouts. But what makes it a real Stu Smith push-up workout is this is the same workout that I've used with guys for 2 decades that has helped me have the highest graduation rate of buds of any mentor like me anywhere in the United States. Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I want the Chat GPT push-up workout, or do I want the Stu Smith approved developed workout? Might be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Hell, ChatGPT probably stole it from 12 Weeks to Buds because it scanned that along with 8 billion other books.
Right.
Okay. So your story, your opinion about what works, dude, I'm sold. That's all I want. I don't care. Okay. Right there. Stu just put the so in Soleil. Okay.
Yeah.
You is unique perspective. Just whatever unique take on the topic. Okay. L, lessons learned. Lessons learned. And E is experiences, which is kind of like if stories and lessons and unique and opinion all had a dumpster baby, that would be experiences. So everything else can be midwit AI generated content. But when it's infused with your stories, your opinions, your unique perspective, lessons learned, and experiences, all of a sudden, who owns it?
You do.
You do. And so if it's your stuff, is it ethical? Of course. It's your, that's not even an issue. Now, whether you're dumb or not will be exposed. But my point on all of this is that what if we could take all this and use AI as an accelerant, as a way to make it faster? So it's your content, only faster. It's your story, only faster. It's your opinion, unique experiences, the lessons learned and your experiences expressed faster, smoother, to get you from here to here, not in 2 hours, but in 20 minutes. Now that's, in my opinion, very ethical. It's the same thing like, is it ethical to drive to the grocery store in my wife's Secret Service looking Tahoe, which is really cool? Or in order to be authentic in that trip, I should really walk to the grocery store, load all the groceries on my back, and walk back and hope that the milk doesn't spoil on the trip. It doesn't make sense. It's like I would drive the car. It's faster. It's faster. It's more fun. And it's faster. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. If I want firewood, is it better to use a handsaw and then an axe to split it? Or should I use a chainsaw?
Depends on how hard you want to work, Jim.
No, I call the guy on Facebook and pay him $150 a load to come over and stack it. That's what I do. Yeah. Is that unethical? No, I want the firewood. My point in all of this is that people get caught up in the wrong stuff. And this is such new territory for people. And in the comments, tell us what you think. Tell us what, where's the line? Where's the ethical line of doing this? Okay. But in my opinion, if it comes out of your head and it's your stuff and you're just using AI like you would a car or a chainsaw, don't use a car and a chainsaw at the same time. That's not a good idea. And it's got your unique stuff in it. It's fine. It's a non-issue. Like you use Grammarly. What's Grammarly, Stu?
I would assume that is AI-driven grammar correction, and it makes suggestions on making a better paragraph. So there is an AI component in there.
It'll rewrite your paragraph.
It'll rewrite it, yeah. Give you a better one. And,
is that unethical?
I don't think so. I mean, I use it all the time, and I use it for emails. I writing an article right now, using it. So it's incredible.
Let me ask you another question. You got a son who's a senior in college, right? Does he use Grammarly to help him write papers? I have no idea if he does or
doesn't. He does.
He does. Okay. Does he get good grades?
Yes.
Has he ever gotten in trouble in school for using Grammarly to help him with his papers?
Nope.
See? So you're always going to have the purists who are going to say, okay, AI, whatever, it's not ethical. I'm not going to put my name on it. Now, what we talked about, because I'm going to demo something for y'all that nobody has seen.
But before we demo, let me give you the crowning jewel to all of this.
Please do, Prince Stu.
And why CopyandContent.AI is better than anything I've ever used.
Okay.
Is because I can create whatever content I need using the system, and it never lets me forget that there needs to be a call to action at the end of this thing. Right? And there's some sales copy involved with that, which I have been, as a writer, I can look back over 25 years of writing and say, there's a decade and a half where I didn't even put in a call to action. Right?
Because we met about 10 years ago, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Ebook coach, what's that all about? Oh. remember that. I was driving down Route 17 in my car, man, in my truck. It's like, what do you do, man? I'm like, okay.
No, I'm serious, but that is the key for me. You know, I don't have a problem making content. That is not my problem. My problem has been sales copy and descriptions of what I'm selling, and
Right.
it just adds all of that into it. That
If you need it, if you
need
want
it,
it, if it's
yeah,
appropriate in there. Sometimes you're not going to put a call to action in something.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it's there when you need it. It's the marriage of your avatar, you, and all your stuff, and the offer. That's the at the core of everything CopyandContent.AI. Before we get into some demo stuff, let's say hi to the folks that are here. Deborah says they moved my cheese again. What's up, Mary Robinson? Mary Reynolds. Good morning. Deb says it's like sewing a dress. AI provides the pattern. It's up to me to add the unique embellishments that make it truly my own creation. I like that. What's up, C. Ray? Deb says, another Deb says, thank you for being such great teachers, both of you. And other Deborah says, you cross in unethical when your effort ends at copy and paste. Ooh, I like that. That's good. I might use that.
That's really good.
What's up, Jay? I haven't talked to you in a while. Okay, so one of the things that and this is interesting, and I'm going to, this is kind of a tease for something that's coming in CopyandContent.AI next month. We're going to be doing our 8-hour book method, and this is the culmination. This will be the culmination to that point of everything I have learned about creating books. And if you're in CopyandContent.AI, I'm not charging any extra for it. We're doing the first round of it as part of being in Copy and Content. So the only pitch in this is that if you are not in CopyandContent.AI, you should be. And if you're in CopyandContent.AI, don't leave. It's as simple as that. Okay. We're going to get the dates. We got our planning meeting and everything tomorrow. We're going to get all the dates and everything for that. So don't light up the thing. Go, what day is it? What day is it? We're going to get all the dates and all that stuff. But basically, it's going to be how to go from concept to your book being published on Amazon in 8 hours of total effort. Sounds pretty cool. So what I'm doing is putting the whole thing together. Literally, you could start in the morning on a Saturday, and by Saturday night, have your book published.
Damn.
So in order to do that, we got to really accelerate the content creation process. And here's the thing. In order to accelerate the content creation process and have it not be mid-wit content shot out of AI's butt, it's got to be based on your stuff. I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds on process on this because it's not really necessary. But the gist of it is about a year ago, a really good customer of ours who's also in our mastermind, Sue Emily, contacted me and she's like, hey, Jim, I'm not getting what AI is giving is not the right stuff. It's not my stuff. It's just what AI thinks is the stuff. And I spent a good amount of time with her and then thinking through what's going on, because most AI, you go to ChatGPT or any of it and you say, hey, give me this on, diabetic diet or something like that. I mean, it's going to give you pretty much what you're going to hear anywhere else. And the fact that it digests its own crap now, like LinkedIn is doing its own AI model, but a lot of the stuff that it's training on is stuff that people generated with AI and posted on LinkedIn. And so now it's just AI eating itself. It's kind of like, remember when you were a kid and your parents would come home from work with funny cartoons that had been Xeroxed by someone and then Xeroxed by someone and Xeroxed by someone and Xeroxed by someone and Xeroxed by someone. Yes. And it was like this blob and you're like, ha, 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 that's so funny. I mean, you could barely see it. That's what's going to happen with the AI stuff. AI learning from itself and redigesting its own puke. It's dumbing down in some stuff. It's truly what they call mid-wit, which is it's not dim-wit, but it's mid-wit. It's okay.
It's the old garbage in, garbage out.
Right. So bottom line, I figured out, working with Sue and then looking at my own stuff, we created the paragraph genie, which is not, it doesn't sound sexy, but it's amazing because you put in your stuff and then it just takes your stuff and makes your stuff for you.
Mm.
And so what I've done is I have taken what we learned in that, turned it up by a power of 10, and turned that into a genie to write a book chapter, or to write a chunk of a chapter that you could then combine with other stuff. And then also, Stu, what's the easiest way to get information out of somebody?
Punch them.
No, I didn't say what's the easiest way to interrogate somebody. Take it easy there. Okay. Okay, tickle them or punch them while what? What are you typically doing when you want to know something? Asking questions, right? The most basic thing. So whilst imagine, now I have an image which will never be gone from my head, with Stu Smith alternating between tickling and punching someone while asking a question on a podcast. Thank God we live 300 miles apart. Our next guest is excited. Dear God. Stop it. Okay, so if you were going to create content super fast, got to have a way to come up with list questions, then taking those questions, turning them into chapters. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate this thing. I'm not, no, you don't have access to this yet, everybody. This is preview stuff. If you're excited, yeah, Jay's got it, doing an interview. But this is brand new and it's really cool. And so I'm going to share my screen and you guys let me know what you think. I'm excited. There is, it sucks. Well, then I guess we won't do the 8-hour thing. So the first thing you got to do is come up with a list of questions. So I'll do new, and we're just gonna play around with something. I've got other genies that'll help you come up with cool. We demonstrated one last week, actually, the book topic title brainstorm genie. We did that last week, so I'm assuming you would use that. And crap, I should have remembered the title of Stu's book, but it was basically a leadership thing. I sent you that thing. Did you throw it away?
No.
Do you remember what the title of the book was that we came up with? Stu's like, no, I don't know. I didn't want to write it. I didn't want to write it.
I've been finishing my other book, so haven't had time.
Stu's like, I don't like it when you bully me.
Yeah, you bullied me into writing
books. Bullied you into writing multiple books. Look at all the money you made.
Must be on my downstairs computer.
All right, so
it was something about tactical leadership.
Okay, well, we're gonna do something else. So
pick someone
else.
Health,
wellness, longevity while being a fun parent or grandparent. That's
there you go.
Okay, so it's amazing fitness after 50. Okay, that's going to be the title of your book. Out of weight, unhealthy men, discover how self-motivated life, and then style of interview. Which one do you normally do?
I either go entrepreneur or National Geographic.
All right, let's do National Geographic. So now what this is going to do is it's going to come up with a set of interview questions. And if you like them, then we can have it take the interview questions and have it generate chapter titles based on those questions. Okay, so basically it's divided into the intro, the main interview, and then the conclusion. Okay, so tell us a little about your background, what's your personal experience and challenges shape your understanding of fitness, why do you believe it's going to benefit most from the strategies, or who do you think, especially regarding men who might be struggling with their weight and health. Put them glasses on. Stu's got his, I always know when I need to zoom in for Stu. because he looks like Kilroy from World War II. So now, if you like these, we're going to come down here and we're going to whack this button, and it is going to write chapter titles based on those questions. Now, obviously, this isn't writing the book, but this is doing the pre-work for us really quick. And then the thing is, that's why I talk about an interview is like an accordion. You can get as much or as little information as you want. If you want to do a big long thing, or if you want to do a short thing, it's going to dictate basically how many questions you answer and how long you answer each question. Nice. So if you want to pile up a couple hundred pages of stuff, you're going to answer more than 5 questions. Okay. So it's doing its thing right now. We might get back the little red button that says we're experiencing something, because it seems like it's taking a while. Sometimes these things, I mean, I'm definitely pushing the envelope with these behind the scenes that you don't see what's actually going on. But if you wanted to have a bunch of extra questions and stuff, yeah, I figured that was going on. You can also have it expand the interview with where it says probing questions. And I rarely ever see that little red thing except when I'm doing live demos, just saying that's the only time you really see them. And I could probably check my text and it'll tell me, yeah, we're having the backbone is having some sort of an issue. Yeah, it might fart on me. Oh, well, there you go.
Be patient.
So this one, what it'll do is it'll take all of those questions and it will add 2 additional clarifying questions for each one. So, I mean, this turns into an interrogation. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this second one. Could just be.
Is it writing 22 chapters?
It's writing. Yeah, it's writing 20 based on all of these questions. It's writing 23.
Can you reduce that to
titles.
just 10?
No, not the way I have this thing programmed. But you know what I could do is I could add that. Let me make a note.
Like, how many chapters do you want?
Yeah, I'm going to add a count. Yeah, I don't know why it's being difficult. Of course, it worked perfectly in practice. Okay, so what we're going to do is yeah, I don't know why it's being a pain in the ass. I'll have to go check it. So this is the new chapter writing genie thing that I got. This is not a sexy title. Nonfiction book question chapter answer genie. That's for internal purposes right now. But the gist of it is that we're going to load our Stu avatar. And so overweight, out of shape, unhealthy men. What's our reading level? We'll do beginner. So now what's the question that we want to answer in this chapter? Things being a pain in the ass. Now I'm just going to keep clicking it because it's pissing me off. All right, so let's start with the big picture. What do you think are the most important pillars of health and wellness, particularly for men over 50? So we're going to paste this question in, and it's going to ask, what type of question is this? So it is if you look, this is a what question. You can only ask who, what, where, when, why, how, and how much questions. So we're going to say a what question, and this is going to dictate now behind the scenes. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So the title of the chapter is, come on, just freaking work. Nah. Okay. Might be something going on. So the title of this chapter, if we were going to turn this into a chapter, okay, the pillars of health and wellness after 50. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the purpose of this chapter, now this is me asking you. If you were writing a chapter in a book, Pillars of Health and Wellness After 50, what would be the purpose of this chapter? The purpose of this chapter is to what?
Teach people about sleep, movement, and nutrition.
All right. And what's the big conclusion you would want somebody to come from this chapter? The big
Um,
lesson, moral, or conclusion of this chapter is what?
um, Reduce stress, live longer.
Nope.
Nope.
That's okay. What if somebody read a chapter on this? What would you want after you tell them about sleep, movement, and nutrition? What's the big idea you want them to take away?
Um, these are the pillars of health and wellness.
Okay. Now, this is where, and you get up to 10,000 characters in here.
Damn.
So I want you to think about if you were doing an interview. Oh, look, it finally did it. Yep.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, the path to vitality, a personal journey. So what was your one pillar? Oh, yeah, the essential elements, pillars of health for men over 50. That's actually a better title than we came up with.
I like that.
So it finally did. And it even tells you what kind of question is it a what, a how, a what, and anyway, that'll help you. So this lays it all out for you with all the questions. I do like what you said though about adding, either letting people specify a number or I could do short, medium, long, and extended. And then I could just have that tell them how many questions. Okay. So what I want you to do, Stu, is I wish there was a way. I'm going to just imagine I asked you the question, Stu, what do you think are the most important pillars of health and wellness, particularly for men over 50? And I want you to just answer it in your own words.
Yes.
For 30 or 45 seconds. Imagine we were doing an interview.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretend.
So, I would say, well, the number one killer is stress. So stress mitigation is the
number one killer is stress. So stress mitigation is the number one thing we all need to do.
We do that naturally by sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night.
We do that naturally by sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night.
Monitoring our nutrition to where we get enough protein.
Monitoring our nutrition to make sure we get enough protein and carbohydrates.
And good fats.
And good fats. Sorry, fellas, those don't come from potato chips.
And exercise every day, doing something.
Exercise every day, doing something with an emphasis on consistent movement and some strength training.
Yes, strength training and cardiovascular training.
As well as cardiovascular training.
I would say that would be where I would like keep it short.
Okay, so that's your answer. That's the answer to the question. Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
I could get into more specifics, but that is a general answer.
Okay, but that would be your answer to the question. That's Stu's answer to the question.
Yes.
Somebody else might say other stuff. Okay, that's what I'm stressing is that the main thing here, this is Stu's answer. Now, how long of a chapter do you want, Stu? How many? And think of in terms of paragraphs. Okay, approximate number of paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12.
Let's go 6.
6. That's gonna be a short chapter, brother. All right. Your writing style, National Geographic. It's for the pictures, honest, Mom. Why do you always look at those particular issues? Stop, Mom. Okay. What is your writing tone? Friendly, humorous, persuasive.
Yeah.
Okay. And then language style, academic, concise, conversational, descriptive, what?
Professional.
All right. So now we're going to click build, and there's one wish, dude.
Nice.
So then we're going to, and I may do some changes to this. It's not beta, but it's, And those of you that are here with us live that have been through other challenges and stuff that we've done, let me know what you think when you see what pops out. But here's the thing. We established what makes it real, your stuff, and not putting in, you know, what most people do would be like the 3 pillars of health. Okay. So chapter 4, pillars of health and wellness after 50. I don't know where the hell it got the chapter 4. Um,
Hmm.
as men, was that the 4th chapter on the other thing?
Yeah, it was, I think, or the
No,
fifth.
it was number 5. So I
Yeah.
just wondered, it's, yeah, I could probably tell it what chapter this is. But anyway, okay. Um, as men reach age of 50 and beyond, maintaining health and wellness becomes more crucial than ever. The body undergoes various changes during these years, making it essential to prioritize specific pillars that support a long and vibrant life. The foremost pillar to address is stress management. Research indicates that stress is the leading contributor to several chronic conditions, including heart disease, hypertension, and depression. By effectively mitigating stress, men can significantly enhance their overall well being, making this the vital first step in the journey towards a healthier life. One of the simplest and most effective way to combat stress is through adequate sleep. Aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night can drastically impact how you feel and function. Sleep is not merely a time for rest, it's a crucial period of bodily repair. Poor sleep elevates stress, create a soothing bedtime routine. Nutrition stands as another essential pillar. As men age, body requires a well-balanced diet rich in essential nutrients. This includes adequate protein for muscle maintenance, healthy carbohydrates for energy, and good fats, which can be found in foods like avocados and nuts, not in potato chips or processed snacks. Interestingly enough, Stu texted me, um, asked me something I'm doing and whether I was losing weight. And I said, yeah, a little bit. And he's like, I will tell you it's unfortunate, but hard work. It's hard to work off these pounds with just exercise alone these days, which was code for, hey, Tubby, if you want to lose weight, it's diet and exercise, not just exercise.
Yeah.
Um, so interestingly, and physical activity plays a crucial role in health, especially for men over 50. Engaging in regular exercise not only helps manage weight, but also combats the natural decline in muscle mass and bone density that occurs with aging. Aim to incorporate a blend of cardiovascular activities and strength training into your weekly routine. Cardiovascular exercises such as walking, swimming, or cycling boost heart health, blah, 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 blah. Um, so
No, that's good.
here's the thing. It's like it wrote about exactly what I wanted it to write about it. You could have added more,
Sure.
but if you were, and dude, and I'm telling everybody here, call me out if you think I'm full of crap. Okay. But literally, if you were to grab the chapter, take the content, obviously it's not chapter 4. But read this out loud and do an edit on it. Maybe you would add another story, go and use a 6C story genie. Maybe you would add a checklist, use a checklist genie. Once you've done that, and me personally, I'll just tell you, I read it out loud. That's my thing. I read it out loud. This is the stuff I wanted to talk about. Sounds the way I want it to sound. It's got the content in it that I want to have because I told it my content. It just expanded on it. Would you feel ethically and morally fine with throwing this into a book or a special report and claiming it as your own?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is basic. The reason why I went general with my answer is because I would have elaborated all of this extra information. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
And yeah. So it just.
And you've used the genies enough that you kind of know how much you got to give it what you know you want it to give you.
Right.
But other people haven't necessarily done that. But here's the thing. If we were to, and you're like, well, it's not, my thing. But what I want to do here is I'm going to save this because this is a good example. Um, all right. Answer the question a different way, Stu. What do
Okay.
you think are the most important pillars of health and wellness, particularly for men over 50?
A different way.
Yeah. Give me something. Just
Um,
say some different stuff.
focus on strength,
Focus on strength,
flexibility, and mobility,
flexibility, and mobility.
but don't ignore cardiovascular activities
But don't ignore cardiovascular activities
because combined, you will now have a body
because combined you will now have a body
that is capable of mitigating stress,
that is capable of mitigating stress,
reducing injury,
reducing injury,
and increasing longevity.
and increasing longevity.
That's it.
All right. So now that was a completely different answer.
Yes.
So now we're going to leave everything else the same and we're going to see what it emphasizes and how it does its thing. But like I said, you could put in a lot more. So if you really wanted to, and what'll end up happening is like, let's say you answer the question for 4 or 5 minutes and you come up with a, big old chunk. Okay. It's going to fill in fewer blanks and just clean up what you put in. All right.
Right. Yeah. Like I have articles that discuss these in detail. I could definitely make that a chapter.
So, as men cross the threshold in their 50s and beyond, the wellness landscape shifts dramatically. Aging brings about changes in the body that can often leave men feeling out of shape and unhealthy. However, understanding and focusing on fundamentals of health can ignite a transformative journey. The most essential pillars are strength, flexibility, mobility. When these elements are prioritized alongside cardiovascular activities, they create a robust foundation capable of improving overall wellness, mitigating stress, and reducing risk of injury and promoting longevity. Strength is the cornerstone of physical health, especially. So, dude, I mean, it's writing your stuff. It's writing about what you want to write about.
Yep.
So the more you put in there, the more it's going to make it all about your stuff.
The reason why I put a lot of commas in there, if you take a look at the paragraphs, is it wrote on each one of those topics. I bet you see there's flexibility, there's mobility, there's cardiovascular, there's strength.
Yep.
And I think you're right. That's just, I know it's going to do that. The more commas I put in there, the more bullet paragraphs or paragraphs it's going to write.
But here's one. Okay, dig this. So this is one that I did where and we'll get into the mechanics and stuff of it, but I answered the question, like the question was, what was the question? Oh, what was the number one mistake I made with my first book? Okay. So I answered the question. Okay. Had it transcribed, did not do any editing of it. I mean, it was raw dogged out of Otter. Okay. And I'll click build on this. And I told it to do 12 plus paragraphs. So this is, writing the thing. Hopefully the AI isn't overwhelmed with everybody and their brother. But this is an example of, now you gave it bip, 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 bip. You knew what it was going to do. This bad boy is like, this is all my stuff. Okay. Yeah. Writing a book feel like a monumental task, especially if you're aiming for recognition. Let's rewind to the moment this journey began. My girlfriend, now my wife of 30 years, looked at me and said, "You're pretty smart. You should write a book." Inspired, I thought, yeah, I should. That simple encouragement sparked a 4-year endeavor, which ultimately brought me more than just a book. It brought me a lifetime partner. But here's the kicker. After those long years of writing, I fell into the trap of believing my book needed a traditional publisher. Back then, emailing manuscripts wasn't an option, so I printed multiple copies, mailed them out. I mean, this is exactly my thing. And
Yeah.
so by using it this way of answering the book, I mean, answering the question in detail, it cleaned everything up. And I want to see what this sounds like with National Geographic. And I did direct and concise because that's, you know me, Stu, I beat around the bush.
Mhm.
Um, so anyway, that's those of you who've been through the stuff with us in the past. This is one of the big changes is that I'm I'm setting up the process and I'm setting up the tools so that you can honestly look at what it spits out and go, you know what? That's mine.
Mm.
Okay. Someone very smart. She was right. Something I needed to pursue. Well, I know the following would turn a 4-year journey with frustration, rejection, ultimately a valuable lesson. After finally I said, yeah, I mean, this is my thing, and 700 some odd words. Anyway, that's I'm pretty excited to take everybody through the process because here's the thing. In the past, in the past we've taught, here, let it kick out an interview, do the interview, you have the interview transcribed, that's your book, you do an edit. Problem is people are like, well, it is my content, but it doesn't read like a book, it reads like an interview. I want it to read like a book. Well, doing it this way, the fastest way to get out of your head is either to interview yourself or have somebody else interview you or just answer the questions. And then the way I set this up, the AI can fill in the blanks for you, but it's all based on your thoughts, or you can share all the thoughts you want, and then it's going to clean it up and make it read just right and get you where you want to go. Either way, it's going to be the fastest way for you to get where you want to go. Now, I'm just curious in the comments, anybody who's in CopyandContent.AI already, does this get you excited, especially if you've been through one of our book writing things in the past? But honest God, dude, you could sit there and just bust out the interview in an hour. And then, and once you saw this, now you're not too worried about that number of questions, are you? Because it's like, I just answer the questions. I could bust them all out. And I got a beefy little book there real quick.
Yeah, easy.
Because all you got to do then is just take what it gives you and throw it over and do a quick edit. And the way I got this set up is that as you're compiling the book and editing the book as you're going through the process. So it's not the, hey, let me pile up all this stuff and then I got this big editing job at the end. Nope. As you're doing it, you're assembling the book. So when you're done, you're just done. I don't know if anybody's getting excited by this, but this is going to change. This is a game changer.
Jim, I'm sitting here in my son's room just because it's quieter right now than any place in my house. And I'm looking at like his black belt, right? He's got this Taekwondo black belt, goes from white all the way to black, 10 levels.
Wow.
So I'm sitting here comparing like his journey of writing a book to getting a black belt, right? And like his Taekwondo master is like a 6th degree black belt. Okay.
Wow.
And I was like, what does that mean? And it means he has produced so many black belts that he increases his degree of being a black belt.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So think about it, how you're doing it. Like you are helping people create their book. You've written a book, several, right? So you're a black belt for that process. Now you are coaching people. You are now like the 5th degree black belt of book writing.
Yeah.
You're helping people write books.
Well, but trying to do it in such a way that they're able to do it faster and make the book even more legit. Everything we've done has been legit. I just been trying to make it better and better and better and better and better and easier and make it more like, wow, yeah, that's my stuff. That's what I would have written. That's what I would have done if I had the time to write it out by hand. It sounds like me. It does my thing, and I'm good to go. So, okay. Bottom line is, if that got you excited, you need to be a member of CopyandContent.AI. If you're not a member of CopyandContent.AI, you're wrong, and you can rectify this by going to CopyandContent.AI right now and joining. And we'll walk through the I'm new process, get you up to speed real quick. Those of you who are members who are here with us live, in about 6 minutes, Stu and I are going to jump over on the genie hacking. So we'll see y'all over there. But again, I'm sure we'll be publicizing this little 8-hour book method. Um, it's slick. It's really slick. It's gonna. I'm telling you, yeah. It's like a bucket brigade of chapter creation. That's all your stuff. You're gonna be amazed. So look forward to seeing y'all, and have a great day. Good job, Steve.
Thank you.